Alright, we are live. Are we gonna hit our target for Robinhood today? So we have earnings on Hood after market, I believe, and we have this target at $98. We have basically a huge area between 92 $98. It was our target for a long time now, for a few days. We were targeting this even before it rebounds on Friday. We didn't add any pullback yet on lower target that we had. We could pull back on this one. Pre-market is still positive right now, so it's still a great thing. Slightly 0.1% for Hood. We could go get earlier this 5-minute target that we have just down there, recover the gap that we have here before going higher and hit the main target upstairs. That's definitely a possibility. I think Robinhood is still in a very, very good place because we are not overvalued in any time frame, and we are actually very interestingly, even after all the upside that we got the last few days, we are actually undervalued on the 1 minute. So it's very nice situations to be in, and actually we could get some rebounds from this area and go higher from there. Let's see what the market is giving us today, but right now on Robinhood, honestly, I see only positive to go higher, reach our target on the upside, so I'm very positive for this one. Palantir. Palantir had similar setup as Robinhood, just went straight up. We didn't add any big move on Palantir, but we are going in a kind of ulti trend. We don't have any gaps here, so I think it's pretty much the same. We are in a very good situations to continue higher and reach our target, which is for Palantir in the zone between 151 and $155. So all good for Palantir also. Nvidia. Nvidia, I didn't like the setup, and it actually went up yesterday. So I was expecting some kind of pullback at some point, and I am still expecting some pullback actually on Nvidia. So what happened is that we reached this zone that we have here at 183, 186, and it basically broke from here. So this became actually support now. It's our new support zone, and we had another target on the upside at 188, 189, and we totally broke above it to reach the last target that we had at 193, 194. This one got clearly rejected, so we put it as a resistance right now. This one got broke, so we can put it as a support still, and we can see that the market so clearly rebounded on that one and is actually trying to test this support. Currently we have this. I want to be very careful because we have this huge candle that formed from yesterday price action. So it's definitely a new target, which means that my projection on Nvidia is to go down, recover this target. That's the first thing I would look to, is if we break this support, I would look for a recovery of the 183, 186 zone. That's the first thing. The first thing. But if we actually break also this support at 183, then I would be extremely careful, because I think that we could go and recover this huge wick that we have here, plus this huge gap, and we could go way lower and go back to this 172, 176 zone for Nvidia. We could afterward totally rebound from there, and actually I could show you. I have this target on the daily on the upside. I'm super bullish on Nvidia, guys. I'm giving you some, some little warning here, because it doesn't look that's very good, like on the very short term, but on the long term I'm super bullish on Nvidia, and I think so. You have this week to recover, plus a gap here. So on my first target, a bit more long term, even though it could be, long term, it could be in the next few weeks, right? It could be very very fast, but here above the 200, so 204 and 211, that would be my target on Nvidia. So if I would put a projection right now, I would expect a pullback. Let's maybe clear a bit all the projection that we have. So let's put it, maybe let's keep this one. So I would first look for a pullback to this zone, to this area, and then if this one is breaking, I would look for recovery of this target. Afterward, I would definitely look for rebound and getting the daily target. It's a more long-term, mid-term, long-term target for the next few weeks, but at least you can see that, yeah, we could definitely go there, but by the end of the month, that's definitely possible. So that would be more or less my target for Nvidia. Amazon, I talked to you about my trade. I closed my spread. I had a limit order to buy back my spread, which I did. I got 75% of the profit. So it's quite nice. I still have my shares. We are still in a good place on Amazon, super undervalued on different time frame. So it's a very good play for the next, maybe not few days, but next few weeks. So I'm still holding on my shares at least until we hit this target at 226, 232. That's more or less the minimum that I want to see right now, because I expect some kind of strong rebound. We had a bit of a rebound, but it's still not going that much higher for now. So I'm really expecting Amazon maybe by the end of the week to recover some target on the upside. So super positive on Amazon also. We can, yeah, BMNR have been extremely cautious, and I've actually have covered call at 20. That's my white line here. That's my covered call. They are a bit in the money, but I'm super happy to have them right now, because I'm not quite sure that we're gonna go up from there, at least not before we have some kind of pullback. So I was telling you yesterday about some possible 10% pullback, something like that we could have, and we actually got some kind of pullback, 5-6%. So it was not that bad, but at least not that bad for now, because now the problem is that we actually went up to reach this target, and we can see that the price is starting to be rejecting, and actually on the pre-market we are actually already losing 3%, a bit more than 3%, as you can see. which is not ideal, obviously. And that's confirming the rejection. So, and the problem is that with the big downside and upside that we had on the market yesterday, it created this old candle, which is a huge imbalance. So I put it a new target. I would definitely expect BMNR to recover this target on the short term. So I'm still holding to my covered call. They're expiring by the end of the week. So I'm holding to them because I really believe that we can still again pull back. We got some kind of pullback yesterday. It could still be the same today, but be careful because if we recover this one, then we want to see, are we getting some kind of rebounds on it, or is it breaking? And if it's breaking, we could reach my initial projection, which is the recovery of this gap on the downside. And yeah, I just want to be careful for the moment. I'm also very bullish on Ethereum and BMNR, but on the very short term price action, I'm gonna stay a bit more cautious until I see more positive setup for this. We can look also at Ethereum because I think the price action was quite interesting. So to give you, there is a lot of stuff in the chart. So I'm gonna try to give you basically a view of what happened. So my projection was this target. As you can see, the price went recovering the target exactly as we plan. I still have, like BMNR, like we still have the target on the downside, and yeah, it still could be recovered at any moment. But so we had a full recovery of this zone. We can remove this projection. I'm gonna keep this one because honestly, it doesn't change anything for the moment. We are still not out of the wood, kind of. I want still have that in the back of my head, and I want you also to have this possibility. But so we cover this target, which is great. We basically, this one, there is not that much sense anymore. It was broke like multiple times. We can remove this zone. Another good sign that you could have saw yesterday is that as we went reaching this target, we formed a W formation, and then we had this move on the upside. What followed is a full recovery of the target that we had here plus a rejection. So now this become all new resistance for BMNR, for Ethereum, sorry. So we have a zone of resistance here, which was, so this target was fully recovered, perfectly rejected. That's what we got. Then what happened? We went again testing this zone, which is now our new support, as we rebounded here and we formed a pattern. And currently we are actually testing this zone. It's actually testing this zone. That's the crucial moment, right, guys? We want to see, are we going to go up of the zone to maybe recover this candle? This is a nice target. Look at the size of the candle compared to the average. Look at the volume compared to the average. This is a very clean target that we can add. So we are on the 15 minute. So if you see that the price go up of this support zone, we could definitely target this. But the momentum is not in our favor right now. So I would still be a bit more bearish, and the trend, the momentum, everything is pushing on the downside. And actually you can see as we get some kind of rejection here plus a red candle forming. So are we gonna push lower and get the recovery that we planned here? This is totally possible. So that would be my projection, and then maybe going back up to recover this target, and maybe from there going higher. Totally possible, but that's my projection on Ethereum for the moment. So be aware that we could have some kind of pullback from here. Something interesting that I wanted to show you is CrowdStrike. I took a trade yesterday because the setup, we had an amazing setup. We were super undervalued. Look at the distance from the deviation line. We were like so much deep undervalued. So I took this trade, I put it simply a spread here. And actually, same as Amazon, I put it a limit order to buy back my spread at, let's say, when I reach 75%, 80% of the profit, and it automatically got filled when I was sleeping, actually. So I woke up and I saw that both spread got filled, and I got out on both in profit, so it was quite nice. But this actually still on the medium term looks like a very nice play. So it's undervalued on the daily, undervalued, or at least was undervalued on the 4 hour. Maybe not in the 1 hour. Let's see the 1 minute. And 1 minute we are close to undervalued zone. So we could have some kind of push there down. Let's see if we have some. Yeah, okay. So we have some wick here. That could be our target. Very short term, recovering the wick there. And then getting the rebounds and getting the target on the upside. That could be some kind of play. If you want to play this, do your own research. I'm not gonna play it anymore. I've already took my profit. It was a very good setup yesterday. Now the setup is a bit like degrading, so I'm gonna open, like I do every day, I open my scanner to scan all the stock on every time frame, and I'm just looking for the best setup. On Friday it was Amazon. Yesterday, on Monday, it was CrowdStrike, and today, let's see what the market is bringing at the open. But that was a great play, so that's something that you can look into. Yeah, I also played it as a spread, so a credit spread. That's also something else. If the IV rank, so implied volatility, is very high compared to what the stock have, like more than 50 in IV rank, for example, you can play it as a credit spread, because you benefit if you have some kind of IV crush. If you have some kind of environment when IV is very low, don't play it as a credit spread. You could play it as a debit spread, which I don't personally do, because for me it's all about theta and generating income from it. I want the time decay to be on my side, so I don't use debit spread, but you could do it if that's something that you like. But something else that you can play in low IV environment is basically the Portsman cover call. So you buy a leap, you buy a long-term option, long-term call, and you sell against it. You sell against it a short-term covered call, and that's definitely something that works very well. So that's basically the two plays that I use if I don't sell put and own stock, to just benefit of the market. All right, I think that's pretty much everything for today. So yeah, we have some very nice setup still on Oud, Palantir. Nvidia would be a bit more cautious, BMNR a bit more cautious, but otherwise, maybe let's look at the SPY. I miss a bit some kind of analysis on the SPY. Oh yeah, that's actually very interesting. I didn't even open it. So on the SPY we had this projection, right? Some pullback and going to reach this target on the H1, and actually it did it yesterday, so it's pretty nice. We can remove this projection. Something else that you could have saw and use is this W formation here that would announce a perfect move on the upside, which we got. So now what do, right? We reach this target, which is trying to, we see a bit of rejection here, and that's where you want to be cautious, right? When you have a recovery of the target and it's not breaking clearly the zone, you can consider that's becoming a new resistance, and you should expect some kind of pullback. So right now we could expect some kind of pullback on the S&P. We have some small target here. The first one is here, but then, like I told you, we have this one on the downside. We already have the projection, so that would be the recovery of this gap here. That would be my target on the SPY, and yeah, obviously, don't be surprised if we see some red days and a big move on the S&P, because there is still some big imbalance on this area. So I just wanted to let you know that and update the projection, but that's pretty much it. We can look on the upside. Obviously, on the upside we don't have that much because it's basically all-time high, but we could still also go higher, reach those wick, and then be maybe a bit more overvalued, because right now we are not trending badly, let's say. It's kind of multi-trend. We are not overvalued here. Yeah, in any time frame I see. So it's still pretty ulti, but I would start to be very, very cautious now, and expect some pullback at some point. So be aware of that, and let's see what the market's gonna bring to us. That's it for today, guys. Let's see what we get at the market open. I don't see that much. There is also there is some green, a bit of red on some names at the market open, but yeah, nothing crazy. I don't see crazy pumps or crazy crash, so nothing to say. Let's see what the market brings us today, and yeah, I'll talk to you tomorrow for another live and analysis of the market. See you guys.